Welcome to Ghettofication. I'm your host, Jayson Cross, and today I'm here with Chris Jones from America's Got Talent and host of the prank series Double Take on Facebook Watch.
I am the only hypnotist ever to lose America's Got Talent.
Really?
I'm the only one they've had, yeah.
Wow. Are you probably the first black biracial hypnotist as well, I'm guessing, right?
There was Hypno Bro.
Hypno Bro, okay.
Yeah, and rest in peace, he's not with us anymore. But I mean, hypnosis goes all the way back to Egypt, so there have been hypnotists of all different colors and shades, and yeah.
Never knew that. Can you tell me a little bit about hypnosis, the background, the history of it?
Yeah, it goes all the way back to ancient Egypt. You know, we've had doctors all over the world, and so it used to be a form of medicine. If you were sick, you would go into the sleep chambers, you'd hear relaxing music, you'd focus on just nothingness and just being out of the sun, getting rid of your stressors, allowing your body to recover. And that was the form of hypnosis. I mean, yeah, there was this guy named Anton Mesmer who did some stuff, Austrian physicist. But I mean, even Benjamin Franklin was invited to do a committee to see if it was real or not.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
What's the king that got his head chopped off? He commissioned it.
Louis the Dead.
Yeah.
The decapitated.
Well, yeah, because after Mesmer left Vienna, he went to Paris. And then it was like split. High society
Okay.
was split. Some of this is real. Some of this is fake.
Right.
So they commissioned Louis.
And it'll probably always be like that. They'll think, oh, it's not real. It's fake. It's social compliance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did a show and I hypnotized a whole mess of people. And at the end, there is some echoing because it was in a gymnasium, like 900 people. And I go, look, acoustics are a little tricky. If anyone's a little bit less than great, I will fix it. Don't come running around saying, fix my friend. Okay? I'll fix it. Flash cut. For the next 60, 70 minutes, there are people like, my friend's weird. My friend's having an emotional breakdown. I need help. They had ambulance and fire departments, and they're calling parents. And they said, we've had a hypnotist 10 years in a row. This has never happened before. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
What happened to him?
They stopped. They said, we're not going to have a hypnotist anymore. They'll work with my agency for comedians and jugglers and magicians, but they're not having any more hypnotists after me. This is a no-name school in Tennessee. But my
That's a way
agent,
to be discreet about it.
yeah, my agent who taught me hypnosis, like, I just want you to know, like, they had me 9 years in a row, and
Wow.
I can't do anymore because of that performance. He's like, I get it. It can happen to anyone, but let's ring it in a little bit.
What happened to the people in the audience? So I'm guessing they went under.
There were a couple people who were a little weird. And the other thing is, you don't know if they have a medical condition to begin with, if someone has diabetes and just was a little blood sugar, high blood pressure, whatever. But the fact that I like to say, if someone asks you, are you doing okay? And you're fine. Are you okay? Are you sure? And they ask you like 20 times in a row. You're going to say after the 5th time, maybe something's wrong. What do you know that I don't know?
Right. Power suggestion.
Also, it's welcome week. I do a lot of college shows, so the kids are away from their family. They're exhausted. They're away from their boyfriend, their girlfriend. They're scared about everything. My life is going to be over if I don't get straight A's. My parents aren't going to love me. And then they're like, hey, I'm a hypnotist, and I help you relax for 10 minutes, and then all the panic comes back. I think that's a big part of it.
So they went under
Mm-hmm.
and they start to panic.
Yeah, I'm going to wake them up. If anyone's a little bit weird, it's fine. I care about everyone in this room, but don't think because you're 20 and you care about them because you're a sophomore that you're a mental health professional. I am not.
Oh.
You are not. Like, my friend's having a panic attack. Well, shaking them doesn't help.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does not. How'd you get involved in hypnosis?
I loved magic. And I saw David Copperfield, and I was like, I'm going to be David Copperfield. And I saw David Blaine. I'm like, I'm going to be David Blaine. And then I saw a hypnotist when I was in graduate school, and I told him, hey, I do magic. And he goes, okay, cool. And he's on stage, and he hypnotizes a person, and he goes, hey, Chris, watch this. He says, give me your wallet when you wake up. Wakes him up, gives him his wallet, says, go back to sleep. It's like, you can't do this with magic, Chris.
Wow.
And he did it like 3 times. And each time he was like more amazed that his wallet was gone. He's like, you can't do this with magic. And I felt my heart like divorce from magic and wanted to become a hypnotist.
I would guess there would be a lot of ethical issues in hypnosis if you can actually have someone hand you their wallet while they're under. Is it possible for a person to get hypnotized without voluntarily going to it? Like now, could you be doing tricks on me and then
You
all
are
of a sudden
safe.
do this?
You are safe. I very much believe in karma. But
I mean, but in situations like this, could
there are some people, like allegedly Stacey Dash hypnotized one of her former husbands to marry him, and he was like, what the heck? And now she has half his money.
was it like a shotgun wedding, or was it like hypnosis over time, or did she just do it one day? We're in Vegas. Woo-hoo.
I picked up a car yesterday. I know I overpaid for it. It's all going to work out as it should. But the car salesman, it keeps touching me in the arm and laughs at every other thing that I say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that funny. There's no reason to touch me. He's anchoring a good feeling, and that good feeling is part of the motivation for buying a car.
Mm-hmm. So when you say anchoring, we get into NLP.
Yeah, neuro-linguistic programming. Yeah.
Yes.
Your words matter.
Okay.
As a fighter, as a dad, as a husband, you understand words matter.
Yes, absolutely.
Like you could say, that was a good fight, or you say, that was a great fight.
Gotcha.
Right? I'm a powerful puncher. I'm a devastating puncher.
Mm-hmm.
Who would I be more afraid of?
The devastating.
Right?
puncher, of
That's
course.
what it
Yes.
is.
Proper word choice.
Yeah. We keep going
Go
back
ahead.
to boxing. One, I like boxing. I like watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But if we ask who's the heavyweight champion of all time, the greatest, people are going to say one or two people. Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
Muhammad Ali had his jaw broken by a guy who had a hypnotist.
Oh, Ken Norton had a hypnotist?
Ken Norton had a hypnotist. He, direct quote, I hypnotize him before every fight. Not only that, I teach him the principles of success motivation. Broke his jaw, right? Split decision, but broke his jaw. And then they had a rematch and all that jazz. Now, Mike Tyson, Cus D'Amato, his mentor, his father, his adopted father figure, would take him at the age of 13 to see a hypnotist. He would take him, you relax and go under, you focus on nothingness. And he would, Cus wrote down what he wanted the hypnotist to say. So he would drop him. He's on the ground, he's out. See yourself punching in bunches. See yourself moving your head and punching in the body. They can't take your punches. Ferocious, becoming this animal.
Mm-hmm.
You just put that mindset because, you know, energy is created. No, wait, it can't be created. It just changes forms.
It changes forms.
Right? So you have your mental energy, like you have your training in your heart, the physiology, but there's only so much you can do. But if you don't have the mental preparation, you're not going to be successful.
What words would a hypnotist use?
Well, I think it depends on the person and your goals. I love working with young athletes over Facebook. This let me give you the best way to answer that is to give you a real fast story. A mom said that her child was having trouble doing flips. She was a gymnast and whatever happened. So I met with her and 3 other athletes, and they're all having the same issue. And so I said, you guys are going to do this. And I sat with them for a little bit, and they closed their eyes, and they saw themselves doing it. And they saw something scary that they had seen in their past. I said, see it black and white. Now it's not as scary. See it as a movie. So it didn't happen to one of your friends. It didn't happen at a competition. That thing that made you afraid was a movie. It's fiction. Now see the thing that you want to do and do it. And the girl flipped and she landed it, and she turned and she looked at her mom, and her mom like had her jaw to the ground. And I sprinted around the room because I was so excited. I was like, this is what I do. This is what I was happier for me than for her, because I then knew the next 2 girls are going to nail it no problem, because success breeds success.
Did the mother get hypnotized as well? It sounds like she zoned out a little bit too.
No, it was cool. This was such a great venue because they had the glass, so the parents can be back there and the athletes can be over here and the parents can just watch. But through that glass, I saw her just like jaw drop and the joy. And she still sends me like videos of her. She's like, look who's doing stuff in the living room. She's flipping and trembling all over. So it's not necessarily the words, but It's the person and the timing. I think it's those things. You know, there's something very powerful about me being hypnotized and listening to someone. It's like, so what's going on? Tell me what's going on. Well, my mom and this, and I want to do this. And I was like, okay. So what do you think your problem is? I'm going to hand you right now a magic wand, and you wave it over yourself and you can fix yourself. What does that look like? Like, hypnosis is self-hypnosis. There might be someone there to help you out, but yeah, I'm just let me take away your hurdles and your obstacles, and you can do what you want.
So you work with athletes. Have you ever worked with anyone in the C-suite? Because a lot of professionals, I'm guessing, could benefit from this.
I've worked with one NBA athlete, and I signed a non-disclosure, but he was in the Olympics. And just a cool guy. He's just a very cool guy. You know, he had a surgery, so he wasn't as explosive as he used to be, or so he thought. And so I visited him in Chicago, and his uncle was like, man, I saw him on America's Got Talent. Let's see what happens. It can't hurt. And he's like, what do you charge? And I go, you donate whatever you think this is worth to my favorite nonprofit and your favorite nonprofit.
Wow.
Because I don't know what this is worth to you. I don't know what your contract is. But what it's worth to you, you should give that to someone else.
Pay it forward.
Right. And then if it doesn't work necessarily, no skin off my back. You know, I don't feel like I failed you, and I can say I don't want anything from you.
You help executives, athletes. It involves NLP. This reminds me a lot of Anthony Robbins.
Tony Robbins.
I
like to clap with my hands open.
Yes. Would you consider him a hypnotist?
Yeah, without a doubt. He might not call himself that, and that's fine. You know, over the years, his career has progressed. Because if you say I'm a hypnotist, well, then if you do motivational speaking, people are like, oh, I didn't know you did both. Like, I put some suggestion and some choice words into my speech, into my talk. That's all.
I notice a lot of politicians, especially Donald Trump.
Woo, Lord.
Donald Trump uses a lot of NLP. He uses
So
a
much.
lot of NLP. He uses a lot of NLP.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Umar Johnson as well. Doesn't that seem suspicious? Do you think an effective speaker, orator, is also a skilled hypnotist? Because I see it all around. I use it sometimes with comedy, to be honest.
Right. That's a good question. Well, let's talk about the psychology of it, because you taught me something. I'm not going to give away any more of your trade secrets, but
You can
I
give the game away.
I saw you at Zany's in Chicago, and you performed, and it was a great thing. And then you revealed behind the curtain, like, yeah, I was just thinking around. Me and the comedians, we like do this thing where bet you can't say this phrase on stage, and you work it into your set. And then you talked about the marketing too. Like, what are you selling at your shows? I'm like, I give things away. I'm like, you got to sell something, and it's not for you. It's for the audience. Because they had a great experience. They want to take something home, and they can't take you home.
Absolutely.
So they want the souvenir. And you even were like, so if you're selling bracelets, do it for like $3 a piece or 3 for $5, because people want a deal.
Yes. Yes. I'm a marketing major.
I never took a marketing class. I took sociology and recreation therapy. I'm not a therapist, but I graduated, and yeah, so it stuck with me. You know, we've hung out a couple of times, but that was the first time we hung out. I just remember going up and down O-Town with you, and like people from your show. You're the Piper, and they were all just following you around. It was like, Jason's so cool.
Night. Yeah, I remember that night. Then you did the card tricks at the bar.
That sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, that was fun, man.
I need something.
That was fun.
Magicians, we hide behind cards.
Yes. I feel marketing kind of encompasses a lot, because you deal with psychology, sociology.
The colors.
Yes. Colors. Yes.
Colors.
Color theory is huge.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. You know, with any field you go into, the fringe and you're like, oh, I think this is kind of BS now. But it goes in either direction. We were talking about politicians. Man, I'm not harping on American politics because last time I checked, there's like 211 countries in this world. They're all having elections eventually. Some have dictators,
Most
some
of
don't.
them.
Yeah, well, not all of them are free.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I won't say they're not necessarily free. They just have a different form of government.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Yeah. I used to get so upset about politics in this country. And then I went to Bolivia. And I saw kids selling candy on the street, 6, 7 years old. And no matter what, poverty, that will upset me more than politics. And the lack of education for children. So now I kind of brush it off my shoulders a little bit, you know. As they keep climbing up, these politicians, they'll say things that, you know, people want to hear. Every country's politician says, God bless this country.
Yes. God bless us and only us.
And only us.
Hypnosis puts people into a trance, and alcohol puts people into a trance as well. What are your thoughts on that? Can you induce hypnosis chemically? Yeah,
absolutely. It's wild. There are chemicals that if you give it to a person, they more or less become a zombie. I'm not going to go into the weeds of that.
Well, the one I could think of off the top of my head is scopolamine.
In Central Latin America? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they use it here for anesthesia
as
well.
They sprinkle it, yeah.
In a smaller dose, of course.
I mean, the fact that we have drive-through liquor stores in this country, but then we also have people incarcerated for double digits for selling and possessing marijuana.
Yes. There you go, getting political.
Let's get political. You ever been to Belle Fourche, South Dakota?
No, I haven't been to Belle Fourche, South Dakota. What's in Belle Fourche, South Dakota?
There's a small jail. I inhabited for just a maybe two hours at the very most. I get booked to do a post-prom, and it's the alcohol alternative, right? So the kids don't go out middle of nowhere and drink and hurt themselves, God forbid, or do something worse. I fly in the day before because to pay for my show, the parents do a fundraiser for the community. So I'm at the community center, cowboy hats everywhere. I am the black guy for miles. And the tables are filled with cans of beer. It's like 4 or 5 people at a table, cans of beer everywhere. I get on stage, I order a cocktail just to blend in a little bit. Salute, cheers. I do a very funny show. Guy comes up and says, hey, you're really cool. We're having a little get together. Come by the house if you want to. All right, cool. I pick up a 6-pack to be a nice person. I'm on the phone with my wife and I go, hey, I'm going to go to this house. I have her on speakerphone. Hey, I'm here in front of your house. And then they let me in like, holy shit, the hypnotist is here. I'm like, all right, sweetie, everything's cool. I'll talk to you later. Because I didn't know these people. But it's like, holy shit, I can't believe you showed up. The hypnotist is in my house. And we drink and hang out for an hour or two. And he goes, you're the first black person to be in this house. Wife hits him. Honey, it's like, am I lying, sweetheart? I'm like, hey, I am honored and privileged. And we start talking about race and colorism and this conflict with the police and living in the inner city of Chicago, all these things. And I tell them that unfortunately my uncle was shot and killed and had to be a police officer. He pointed a gun into the air and they responded and he lost his life. And we had all these conversations and I say, all right, goodbye, I got to leave. And I'm looking for a bar because I'm hype on people. I bust a U-turn. I'm in a parking lot. Woo! Cop. Cherries and berries. And he's like, you did a U-turn on the highway. I'm shocked because I know I didn't exceed 35 miles an hour. But, you know, Highway 35 is a highway. It's like, okay. You've been drinking? I'm like, I've had 3 drinks in 3 hours. I didn't know you're not supposed to tell the truth.
I was just about to say that.
You're not supposed to tell the truth. I
was just about to say that.
But he said, step out of the car. And I had seen the video where the officer did not, the black man in his fatigues, did not step out the car. And he gets maced.
Yes.
And the dogs is maced in the back. I was like, I've seen that video. I'm getting out of the car.
Well, I'm guessing this was nighttime.
This is nighttime.
Was it a
almost
lit
midnight.
area?
Fortunately, it was right in front of a bar.
Okay.
Right in front of a bar. And so he has me sit in the car for a second, and then a gentleman leaves the front seat of the car. I'm like, who is that? Another police officer? No, he's a ride along. I go, oh, he has me in the front with him. So I go roll down my windows. I'm like, hey, don't let me hinder your learning experience. Come out here. Like, what type of drunk says that?
Yeah. They said, oh, boy, he must be drunk.
He must have been
calling for backup against himself.
Come. So he does the flashlight thing in my eyes, and my eyes start tearing because it's super painful. And he has me walk the line. And I go, wait, what? I told you I've had 3 drinks in 3 hours. And I'm still thinking about all the cowboys who were drinking at my show. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking about the conversation I just had. And I'm like, I'm honest with you, man. I'm telling this kid to learn part of the police experience.
From this interaction.
I start walking. He has me walk the line, and his backup shows up, and he's like, walk the line. You have to keep your hands by your side. Walk the line. And I see the bar I was going to go into, and the bar says, here we stand for the flag. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to walk heel toe in my Colin Kaepernick shoes. I'm trying to walk heel toe, and
he's probably saw the back of those shoes.
I just turn around, and I go, I'm not going to scuff these. Arrest me.
Wait, oh my gosh, you are really black. You chose to go to jail over scuffing your sneakers? That is the blackest shit I've ever heard in my life. Oh my gosh, you're veering into inward zone. I didn't want to scuff my sneakers, so I told him to just arrest me. Oh my gosh. That I don't even know.
They're not going to make these anymore.
That's not South Side of Chicago black. I don't know if that's Oakland or Detroit black or Bayou. Damn. You chose to go to jail over scuffing your sneakers.
Well, Colin Kaepernick's. They're not going to make these anymore. Bro. They were hard to get.
But do you know how a series of errors happen? Oh! You go to jail. You get in a fight. You hit the dude. He falls and hits his head. Now it's manslaughter. Now you're doing 5 years versus 5 hours, or just walking the line you could have done. Just not to scuff these sneakers. Yeah. You know, I bet you they're going to reissue these now just because of this.
I would love that. But after that, I just quit drinking altogether. I was like, if the Cowboys can drink like the world is ending tomorrow.
I think I'm going to have to start giving an award on this podcast. The Nigger of the Week award goes to Chris Jones.
I did not.
The Nigger of the Week.
I'm honored.
Natwa. Natw. Natwa. Today's Natwa award goes to Chris Jones.
All I wanted in life.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
No.
Okay. So you told him to arrest you. So you wouldn't scuff your Colin Kaepernick sneakers.
So they drove me to the Sturgis jail because they couldn't keep me in the small jail.
That's why they have the bike rally.
As a bike rally.
Yeah.
And they drew my blood. He got a warrant to sign my blood. And it's wild because South Dakota, like, there are billboards that said meth were on it. Like, guys, I've had 3 drinks, like, literally. And I blew the breathalyzer finally. It was 0.044. And I was like, is that good? Is that bad? Like, I've never been in trouble. I've only blown zeros before. And they're like, it's half legal limit. I'm like, so I'm good. I still spent the night in jail. Had to pay $80 for the night in jail. Had to pay for the blood test.
What do you do? You do realize that's how they, because the tax base isn't big enough out there. You do realize how they keep themselves afloat. I
had to go back to South Dakota to be in front of a judge who threw out the case. But
quick question.
Please.
License plates, were they from a different state than South Dakota, or is it a rental?
It was definitely a rental. I don't remember the license plate.
Because if it was a different state, they say we're going to get this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is what states with a low tax base do.
Yeah.
Or even cities or counties.
Yeah.
Hey, they get the foreigner coming through.
But
let's tax them. Because even though you got thrown out, they still got that $80.
They still got the money.
Yeah.
And
did you have to get a lawyer?
No, fortunately. I have a couple friends that are lawyers. And they're like, look at it this way, man. Maybe there was a time when you did have too much to drink. And just consider it grace. And I'm privileged because I read a book, The Easy Way to Quit Drinking Without Willpower, and I don't have any desire for alcohol anymore. it's like an ex-girlfriend. I see it. I'm just like, that doesn't do anything for me. Like, real talk.
Did you have to join a prison gang or anything like that?
I did have a cellmate named Tyson who was gargantuan. And I learned in jail.
Tyson, another black guy?
White guy. No. I was a black guy for miles. Tyson was very, very big, very drunk, snort the whole night. I learned that I could hold my shit for like 8 hours because the toilet was right here and his bed was right here. I'm like, I'm not going to do that to Tyson. And when you wake up and you have a shitty muffin and you're thinking, I'm not going to eat this applesauce, although I'm hungry, with a plastic spoon. And he's like, drink water. You need to hydrate.
Who, Tyson told you that?
Tyson said that.
Yeah.
I was at zeros by 6 a.m. Like, as soon as they could, I was like, I'm ready to blow. Zeros. Cool. Tyson was still drunk. He was like 0.2% alcohol. Like, just wild.
Wow. Well, he was a bigger guy too, so I mean, his tolerance, I'm guessing, is high. Was he like cut big or
no?
So he had more fat on him. So
he was a big dude. Yeah,
he
was
drink
big.
a lot more.
Yeah.
You gotta drink a lot more. So you're the only black guy there. You're in there with gargantuan Tyson.
I was like, you get the top bunk.
How did he?
You get the top bunk.
How did he treat you?
Great, because he slept. And as soon as 6 o'clock rolled around, I got to be in the common area by myself, and there was a couple books there, and there was a deck of cards. So I was fine.
Did you say, anybody want to play spades? And they're like, what the fuck is that?
It's like, we play spoons here, boy. Get that devil card game out. But yeah, the last thing I'm keeping is I maxed out my credit card paying bail.
How much was your bail?
It was like $500, but it's just.
Did you get it back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it back. And then.
But then you still have to pay the credit card fees. It's all a business.
Yeah. $70 to take the taxi ride home 30 miles.
Where's your car?
Because he drove me from Belfouche to Sturgis. So it was like
just
20.
Left your car on the side of the road.
Yeah. So it didn't get towed, fortunately, but the guy who drove me, I told him, and he's like, man, this place is really rough. He told me that he lost his son. His son overdosed on paint thinner. He said the kids in the neighborhood would just sip a capful and it gets you real high. And he lost his son to it. And it really took away a lot of my hurt. It took away a lot of my hurt knowing that he lost his son. And his son sounded kind of similar to me. He anything that you can do, I can do. I'm tough. I think that I'm a lot tougher than I physically am. And so it was something humbling.
What chemical is in paint thinner that makes one? Is it ethanol?
They run out of things to do. In Russia, they huff glue. Everyone has their different drug.
I think people do that here. And, yeah,
right. Everyone has their drug that they abuse, whatever's next to you.
Wow. What do you think? Why do you think people want to escape from reality so much? And it goes back to hypnosis. Does everyone just want to escape?
I don't think a lot of people are privileged to see how good life can be. Honest to God. I've only known growing up with 2 parents. And so when I got a little older and was competing in sports in high school, my dad would always cheer very loud for me, but super loud for certain students. And I'm like, why are you cheering for Jose so much? Like, his dad, his mom, never the meets. My dad just had that awareness that, there are a lot of kids that just don't have a parent in their life, and he would just be their cheerleaders.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate.
I'm thinking about this escapism we spoke about. Like, why is everyone? I mean, drinking paint thinner is very extreme.
Yeah.
I guess a less sophisticated person, and I don't mean that in an elitist way, but they probably won't understand the damage that they could do to their kidneys and liver.
No,
by even
you're invincible when you're 18. Yeah, if you bite into this Tide Pod, you'll get 1,000 views on TikTok. Okay, great, cool. Like, I've been on TikTok for 2 seconds. I'm like, this is too much. It just hits you immediately.
And this is why I call the podcast Ghettofication, because everything is getting ghettofied. Like the values, the standards, everything's dropping. Think of, has there ever been a moment in time people said, I'm going to eat detergent so that 1 million people could put thumbs up? Like, this is insanity.